What is up, my friends? It's the SmokeSesh. I'm going to pour a little bourbon here. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. I'm having a good Saturday. It's November 21st, 2020. I bet we all can't wait till this fucking year ends, right? Jesus fucking Christ, what a disaster this year has been. It was going to be IB's biggest fucking year. We had so many tours with big bands all lined up, and they all fell to shit. So here's raising a glass to hoping that 2021 is going to be better. Thanks for joining us. My man, as you can see, I am alone today for the second week in a row. Chris McCarthy is gone, but he wants to send his love, and as well as a picture. Here he is just 5 minutes ago. He's at his best friend's wedding. He wishes you all the best, and he loves you deeply as much as I love you. And he'll be back next week along with hopefully a special guest. We got a lot of good stuff going on, but I just can't, right now, I can't announce any of it. And I'm dying to, but we just can't. So, unfortunately, we can't. Wow, a lot of people watching. So, Phil Erdman, man, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? Thanks for watching. All right, so listen, everybody who's watching right now, I want everybody to text in the comments, "Get well soon, Timothy." One of our frequent watchers, Tim Ike, is in the hospital right now, recovering from surgery. So everybody, I want you to text in the comments, "Get well, Tim." All right? So get well, Tim. We love you, brother. Thank you for watching from the hospital. He's watching live from the hospital. That's pretty fucking cool, man. So anyway, let me clear up some news right now. I was supposed to have a big announcement today, and I made the slide for it and everything, but I was told by the powers that be that the big announcement will come next week. I am sure you will not be disappointed by this announcement. It's really been a long time in the works, and it's going to be a big deal, and but I can't do it until next week. So I apologize that I even teased that we might, but I did say might have an announcement. We don't, but look at the outpouring of love. I love it. Everybody's saying, "Get well, Tim." That's awesome, dude. This is a family, right? We're all a family here. This is good stuff. Anyway, so the announcement will come later. I hope you like my bourbon display here. Since Chris isn't here, I had to fill up some space, so I figured I'd pick a couple of my favorite bourbons up here. And I got this nice decanter here. This is a beautiful decanter that was in my mother's house, and my mother passed recently, so I'm cleaning out her house and trying to keep as much as we can of family possessions. You know, it kind of sucks getting rid of, your parents are gone, and then you have to get rid of all their shit, and it's I'm selling their house and this and that, and it's in 3 weeks, it will be like my parents never existed. It's really fucked up. If any of you have gone through that, you know how fucked up it is. But not very happy about it. Anyway, back to what else is going on in news. 2021 is coming, thank God, right? We're all happy about that. IB's working on some new stuff. You heard some new stuff on the opening. We have another new song just about done. We'll probably put the demo up on the SmokeSesh so you guys can hear it. What else we got going on? That's it for the news. Nothing else for the news. So our guest today, generally, the SmokeSesh crowd skews above from research that I've been doing, the SmokeSesh crowd that watches skews above 33. So the median age of viewers is 32 and above. So I wanted to get a young guy on, a 20-year-old who's into YouTube and really into social media, and he's a metal YouTuber, and he's a meme creator on Facebook. It all has to do with metal. My friend Jimmy Forster, and what the great thing about Jimmy is he is completely stuck in the past. So his favorite time frame of music is 95 through, or maybe earlier, 93 through 97. And he pretty much hates everything that's out today, which is pretty funny. So we're going to get his take on how he got into what he's doing, and I thought it would be cool. It's cool for me because I'm still trying to learn about, I'm 53 years old, 52 years old, and I'm trying to keep up with what's going on culturally. I try the best I can, but I got a business to run, I have a band to run, I have a family, I have my car to take care of. So it's hard for me to keep in touch with the culture. I do the best I can, and I think I'm down with a lot of the lingo. My kids help me with it, but listen, I'm an old fucking guy. As a matter of fact, somebody insulted me the other day and somebody said on a comment, "Why do you listen to bands filled with washed up boomers?" And they were talking about IB, which I thought was pretty funny. So I was going to comment back that all the riffs that these bands are playing now are riffs that I wrote 30 years ago, and riffs that Hobbs wrote 30 years ago, and riffs that Chris Basile wrote 30 years ago, and Guy Marché. But I wasn't going to be a dick. So anyway, well, we got a lot of comments here. Man, oh yes, okay. Harold reminds me that this episode and every episode is sponsored by brutalglass.com, brutalglass.com, brutalglass.com. And since we're pushing stuff, I want to show you guys, if any new viewers, we have some SmokeSesh merch for sale, official SmokeSesh merch. If you go to internalbleeding.com/smoke-sesh, you will find a lot of really cool merch, plus old episodes. We have a lot of our favorite episodes up on this page. So if you want to review some episodes, we have the infamous Jason Voorhees episode. If you never saw that, you might want to watch that. It's really funny. And Chris and I really appreciate the support. A lot of people have ordered shirts, and we really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. It's a lot every week to keep this going and do this and set it up and plan what we're going to do and all that stuff. So even the couple of dollars we make, it goes into getting better equipment. The next piece of equipment we're going to get is a green screen from the background, so like we can come live from the Simpsons living room or like the WWE wrestling ring or something like that. So we all really appreciate your support, guys. Thank you so much. Let's see what we got. And any questions going on? We have our guest at 5:30, so if anybody's got questions. Drew Roberts asked a good question. Thoughts on potential vaccines as it relates to getting back on the road? All right, I'm going to give you two views. One, I'm going to give you the optimistic, I really hope view, which is we're going to be back on the road in 2021, and summer 2021 and our European tour that's planned for summer 2021 is going to go through. Now here comes the Greek pessimistic view, which says that distribution is going to get so fucked up that it's going to be 2022. We'll see. The government's generally incompetent in 99% of what they do, so I'm sure somehow they'll fuck up this distribution. But let's look on the positive side and let's hope for the best. I'm hoping it's all going to work out and we're going to be back on the road. Jacob, greetings from Chile, brother. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Daniel, thank you. I miss my mom a lot. I used to speak to her on the phone literally every single day. No matter where I was in the world, I'd call her at 8 o'clock in the morning, New York time. Didn't matter where I was. So it's kind of uncomfortable dealing with that, but whatever. Who knows? What else we got? We got a lot of comments here. Pardon me while I go through them. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the comments. We old heads now. Yeah, Gino, we are old heads now, but it's good, man. You look back on it and you see all the stuff you did. It's awesome. Jennifer from Jen's Metal Tees is checking in. If you need a t-shirt, you need to contact Jennifer. She's got every shirt on the planet. She sent me probably the greatest Black Sabbath shirt ever. I will wear it on a sesh as soon as the weather gets a little warmer. Right now, I got to wear hoodies. I'm in my garage right now that I set up as a studio. I got a kerosene heater going. It's kind of cold out. It sucks. I can't drive my Barracuda anymore because I don't have heat. And the engine doesn't keep me warm enough. So, Tashi, I thought there were going to be shows in Vegas. I guess not. That sucks, man. Are the Raiders going to beat the Chiefs again? I sure fucking hope so, Drew. Jim, what's happening, man? Thanks for joining me. Cheers, brother. What else? Man, we got a lot of comments. Thank you. Okay, Joseph Mitchell asks what merch is dropping next. Okay, so here's the thing. We're dropping some new merch next week during this big announcement that we have next week, but I'm not going to tell you the merch. But for Black Friday, we are dropping the Voracious Contempt 25th Anniversary t-shirt. That will be available through Massacre Merch. And we're also, along with the t-shirts, because of overwhelming demand, we are releasing Internal Bleeding patches as well. So Voracious Contempt 25th Anniversary t-shirts and patches will be launching on Black Friday. Plus, we're launching 2 new shirts tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next week. So there's your answer to that. Thank you. Please ask the Inked Emo Kid when the new Flesh Tomb tunes will drop. So that, the Emo Kid, that would be my man, Ryan, our bass player, who's like 11 years old. He's got a band called Flesh Tomb. If you don't know them, check them out. It's like old school, new school, brutal as hell. Ryan's a really talented guy. Check out his band. And I might as well plug it right now, too. If you don't know Chris McCarthy's other band, Without Remorse, you should check them out. They're an amazing band, too. If you don't know Internal Bleeding, you should check them out. We suck, apparently. So, anyway. Wait a minute. We got... I don't understand this. I definitely donate some money if you did a stream. We're doing a stream. We don't have donations set up yet, though. So, we're going to work on that. We'd rather not... We like donations, but we'd rather people buy merch. This way you're getting a physical product, and you can consider that a donation. So if you want to donate to the band and to the SmokeSesh, here's your chance. There's the address again, internal-bleeding.com/SmokeSesh. Anyway, so we got 15 minutes before Jimmy comes on. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going through everything. Mike Giuliano, asks, what's your opinion on live stream concerts? I love them. I watched one of the obituary ones, and it was fucking awesome. Granted, it's not the same as a real concert, but when you have lights going, professional sound going, you put it on a big screen, you put it on your TV. Now, most of these live stream services, they'll have it so you can put it on your TV in HD. And it comes through with no interruption. It's awesome. It's the best we can do right now, and it's awesome. And I think people who do live streams should be supported. It's also a big financial undertaking to do a correct live stream because you need the bandwidth to do it, and you have to hire a good company that has good bandwidth so you can truly do it in HD without interruption and everything like that. So. Maybe come by in the next week or so, Dave, and you might get an answer to that question. Mikos, Yasu, brother, how are you, man? Checking in from Greece, thank you. Here's a comment from somebody who watched all 3 live streams of Obituary. That's right, Matthew, they do. Japan has some great stuff going on. Man, we got a lot of comments and people watching. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to go through the comments because there's so many. I want to see if there's any... We asked that. So anyway, all right. There's a lot of other questions. So what else happened today? Nothing else happened today. What's happening in your guys' life? You guys having an interesting life? Anything interesting happening? Looks like we're all locking down again. At least here in New York, it looks like that's happening. I tried to go to the gym on Friday, and the gym was closed. Nobody fucking told me. Aaron says you need to turn Australia upside down sometimes. Aaron, I do not disagree with you. Yes, we need to turn Australia upside down. It's on my bucket list. Japan was on my bucket list. We did that a year ago. I could safely retire when I get to Australia. So hopefully, I need to retire soon because I'm getting really old and it's getting tough. But hopefully, I'll make it to Australia. Of course, Joe, we're gonna play Jersey with Mortal Decay, and anybody who knows me knows that Mortal Decay is my favorite death metal band. So, anyway, yes, and Wisconsin as well. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, you're telling me, Brian, they closed the gym on me. It's bullshit. I go to the gym at 4 in the morning and they open at 5, which totally fucks up my schedule now. But whatever, I guess I got a deal, you know? All right. Nikos Propus asks, I don't know if this has been asked again, but which was the most violent IB show ever? Okay, the most violent IB show ever was at, I don't remember the year. It was 1996. It was because it was on the 6 Feet Under tour. It was at the Al Rosavilla, which is the same place that Dimebag Darrell was killed. Okay, and that was the most violent show I've ever seen in my life. I swear within 30 seconds of us starting the first note of playing, there were bar stools flying, tables flying, bodies flying everywhere. Finally, we played our set. It was the most intense set I think we ever played on that tour. I go into the bathroom. I'll never forget this. I go into the bathroom, and there's a dude in there who's got a compound fracture of his arm. His bone is sticking out. There's fucking blood everywhere. He's putting paper towels on it, and he notices me, and he looks, and he stops dead, with all this blood and a bone sticking out, and goes, "Oh my God, internal bleeding rules!" And I'm like, dude, go to a fucking hospital. That was the most violent show ever. There were a lot of violent shows, but that show was out of control. It was just completely out of control. I never saw such violence in my life. So, Harold was at that show. Yeah, you were, brother. That was a good show, man. It was packed too, man. What a fucking insane show, man. Ohio always brings it out for IB. It's great, So, let's see. We answered that question. Mike Giuliano says, good to see many old heads in the house. Yeah, dude. Like I said, I've done the demographics on this show, and they skew in, everybody skews in 32 and up. So one of the reasons I'm bringing Jimmy on is he's a younger guy who can probably educate some of us. Not all of us, but educate some of us on what's going on in the zeitgeist. And there's Tim from the hospitals checking in. Tim, scroll up through the comments. About 1 million people wished you well and get well soon, and we get well soon too, brother. So, IB and Suffocation are named after Slowly We Rot songs. I don't know if that's true. I can't answer for Suffocation, but honestly, Internal Bleeding did not come from Obituary, even though it's an Obituary song. Internal Bleeding came from something when I was drunk. I was in my father had a dark room, for developing film, if anybody remembers film. My dad had a dark room, and I was living at my parents' house at the time. And I used to go down in the dark room and smoke cigarettes. And I was thinking of a band name while I was smoking with cigarettes. And I was like, what would the heaviest band in the world do? What would it do? And I'm like, Ruptured this, and that. And I hit upon Internal Bleeding. And then I realized afterwards it was an Obituary song. But, I didn't care. Whatever. And I guess it's a great tribute to Obituary, who was probably one of my favorite bands. So I guess that's good. So Nico says, has anybody in members in IB tasted tzatziki beside you? I think all of us are pretty much all of us are foodies, especially Chris McCarthy. I'm going to say that Chris McCarthy's definitely had some, and I definitely had some. I prefer, I'm not a tzatziki man, I'm a skoldolia man, because I love garlic. So, anyway, so that's it. Anyway, what else is going on? Old Song's first record. Do you feel tired playing these? Here's the answer. No. You know what's amazing about playing old songs? I never get tired of it, and I'll tell you why I never get tired of it. If I play a song like something off our first album, like Languish in Despair, or Humanicide or something like that. I swear, when I start playing that song, it brings me right back to the day in our studio in Westbury, New York, when we were writing that album, freezing our asses off. We were in a warehouse. This is how crazy it was. We used to practice in a warehouse in the middle of the winter with no heat and one small space heater like this big. We'd play like three. We'd all be wearing jackets and bundled up, scarves, hats. We'd play like one song, run to the heater, heat our hands up, go back, do another song, and I would never do that now because I can't stand the cold. But back then, when I was 24, we didn't give a shit, And so playing those songs transports me way back into the 90s. And I feel like a little kid again. So I love playing the old songs. And we keep playing the old songs because we want to honor our legacy as well as push forward and do new stuff too. So there's your answer to that. The guys in Machine Head didn't know the Deep Purple album. Not something to be proud of. Yeah, I would agree, but I'm not very proud of Machine Head or Rob Flynn. So, oh, sorry, Dave. I answered that, but what album are you most proud of or had the most fun recording? Okay, so I have to tell you, the most fun I had recording was the Corrupting Influence album that we did, our last album. That was the most fun and most relaxed recording I ever had. It was the first album that I ever recorded where I wasn't completely overtaken by nervousness and stress. So it was real fun, and I enjoyed recording it, and it went pretty damn smooth. All the other albums before that, it was nothing but stress, and I would have to do a million takes because I get super nervous in the recording studio. I hate it. To this day, I hate it, but now I'm a lot more relaxed about doing it. So there's your answer for that. So, and I will honestly admit that when I get in the recording studio, I do 1,000 takes because I get so nervous. My hands literally go like this. Not so much anymore, thank God. But the first couple of albums, it was like I was so stressed out, and I don't know why, but I just was. So, Casey Robertson says, "Do you remember the show in Dayton High? Everybody was throwing beer bottles. It was during the Alien Breed tour." I remember this show for one reason, and it was a good reason. There was a guy there who either had a fake arm or a fake leg, and we were swinging the fake leg or arm around and bashing people over the head. Yeah, there were a lot of drunk people there, but god damn it, that show was fucking insane. So, yeah, I remember that show, man. What's my fave what, Ronald? That's an interesting question. So maybe I'll follow up with that. What's my fave what? And I'll answer it. Oh, God, dude. Robert, yeah. I think it was 96. That show was fucking insane. The QE2 was always insane. Oh, man. Those were good times. Cheers, Carl. How you doing? Glad you're joining us. Jimmy will be with us in 4 minutes. So we got a couple of questions to answer in 4 minutes. We can do that. Oh, do I drink beer? And what is my favorite? I do not drink beer. I'll drink beer on occasion. I am not. I am not what you would call a beer aficionado. If I had to choose, I like a beer called Monkshof, which I haven't been able to find in a while, and Warsteiner Dunkel. I guess those would be my two favorite beers. I would rather drink cider over beer. I'm just not a beer guy. I'm a bourbon guy, as you can tell. So, anyway. What else we get? Harold, you were at every good show, bro. Andrew asks, what am I smoking? Okay, I just lit up right here. This is a Cuban Cohiba Siglo 5. It's got about I think it's got about 5 years of age on it. Very smooth. It has that Cuban taste to it. So a Cuban cigar has a in the back of your throat. It has a very metallic, like a metallic kind of taste to it. So it has that Cuban metallic taste. It has a lot of spice to it, but not overpowering, and a bit of earth, like earthiness to it, like a damp kind of taste to it. It's really good. We'll see if it burns the whole way through, but right now it's good. So. Ken, what's up, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we got to do a Philly show. Last show we did in Philly at Kung Fu Necktie was a disaster. I think there were 8 people there. And 4 of them were the guys in Mortal Decay. One of them was Rob Wharton. So, yeah, but hopefully we get back. So, do I think about vaping? Yes, I think about it all the time, and I think that I'll never do it. So, there's my answer to that. Wow, man, a lot of people are watching. So I'm going to shout out Joe Gordon one more time from Mortal Decay. Joe, I love you, man. I love you guys. You know I do. I can't wait. We got to play a show together soon. Mortal Decay, I request, when we did our comeback show, when we came back in whatever, 2011 or whatever, the first band I wanted on the bill was Mortal Decay because I love them so much. So cheers to Joe and cheers to all the boys. Cheers to Hartman. Cheers to Anthony. Everybody in Mortal Decay. Love them all. Johnny, love you guys. Last time you saw Bill was at the Philly show. Yeah. We did get good cheesesteak after that show, though. We were obnoxious as hell at the restaurant, but we got good cheesesteak after that show. So that was awesome, man. So, favorite Cryptopsy album. I don't want to say None So Vile. I can't remember the name of it. It's the one with the opening track is got Mr. Smith from The Matrix on it. I can't remember the name of the album. It's a blue album cover. That's my favorite Cryptopsy album. Mike DeSalvo is my favorite Cryptopsy singer. Not only is he an insane singer, but he's a great guy. I wish I'm having a brain fart. I wish I remembered the name of the album. But that's my favorite Cryptopsy album. So I'm sure somebody here is going to name the album for me since I forgot. I don't know about the rest of the guys, Nikos. I love Inveracity. They're a great band. I would love them to be in the USA. Whisper Supremacy. Whisper Supremacy. Exactly. Now it's 5:31, and I don't know why Jimmy hasn't called in yet. This is weird, but hopefully he'll call in a minute. I'll keep going. If he doesn't call in, that's his problem. I have everything set up. He should be calling in. Anyway. What else we got going on? No, it's Whisper Supremacy. I know that. Just going to check in and see if... Oh, see, you guys are all straightening me out. Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess the bottom line is DeSalvo's my favorite Cryptopsy singer. I don't know all the songs by heart. I used to. Oh, here we go. Jimmy's in, so let me get him in.
Oh man, you were waiting on me?
Yeah, we're waiting on you, Jimmy.
What's up? What's
You're
up,
2
man?
minutes late. 2 fucking minutes late, dude.
Nah, man, I was here since 5.
No, that's bullshit. You didn't call in. You didn't call in until 5:32, all right? And listen, I'm an old man. I own my own business. Punctuality is everything. Get your shit straight. So what's up, man?
Going
How you
on,
doing?
brother? What's going on?
Nothing.
Doing all right. A little under the weather today.
You got the
But,
COVID?
nah, I don't think I got the COVID. I don't have any of the symptoms. I just got like a mild sore throat.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make you talk, so you better get used to
Oh,
it.
perfect,
Hey,
man.
can you? Is there any way you can turn your mic up volume up just a hair?
Just a hair?
Yeah, just a hair.
I could talk louder.
All right, talk louder.
Yeah, man.
That's better. Can you guys, everybody out there, can you guys hear Jimmy okay? Let us know. Jimmy, I want to ask you a question. First question is, how old are you?
I'm 22, man.
Okay, great.
How old are you?
You don't want to, I'm 30 years older than you. I'm 52.
52.
And that's awesome that we're talking, and we're talking about things that we love. So I fucking love it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so I guess my first question is, before we get into the YouTubing and the meme creation, what was your metal path? Like, how did you get into metal, and how did you fall into like what now is probably considered obscure 90s death metal?
If you're going way, way back, I first got into metal. So when I was like 9 or 10, that would have been around 2007, 2008. You got to remember that the Guitar Hero explosion was a thing back then. And I found a lot of like 80s glam or like 80s thrash through Guitar Hero. Putting new metal in the background of YouTube videos was a very big thing back then as well. So then from like thrash and glam metal, it escalated into hardcore. So I was really big into like 80s New York hardcore, like Agnostic Front, Underdog,
Yes.
Way.
Token Entry, you know them?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, like some like the straight edge stuff, like Instead, Earth Crisis, and then got into like old school death metal, like generic stuff. So like Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Morbid, like all the generic stuff that you get into. And then I remember I saw.
All right, let me back you up.
Back up.
Okay. Generic death metal, whatever you want to call it. I know what you're talking about. Mainstream death metal.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
so
the starter
what?
Stuff,
Okay,
like
so I want to stop there. What was the first mainstream death metal you heard, and what was your reaction to it?
Probably it would either be Obituary's Cause of Death, or God, going back to my teenage years.
That was like 5 years ago.
Like, probably Symbolic by Death as well.
And so what?
So, you know, like two like the bigger stuff.
What was your reaction? Was your reaction like, holy shit, this is like next level shit? Like, what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely always loved getting into like more obscure stuff and like heavier stuff. So I was just drawn to that. And then going more so on what I was saying from thrash, I remember in 2015 they did the Mayhem Fest in Jersey. I saw Slayer and King Diamond, and Cognitive opened, and that was when Jarrell was still singing in Cognitive, and I was like, holy fuck, like this shit is heavy, like fucking Diamond, yo, I want to listen to this. So then I got into like a normal brutal death metal, so like Putrid Pile, stuff like that.
Okay, that's cool, man. So did you do? Now there was no. So I guess when you were like, so everything was online when you were you didn't do any. Did
Correct.
you do any CD trading or tape trading or anything like that?
Like
You can
recently,
say
or like
no.
just getting into it.
Yeah.
Recently, I tape traded with Danny from Malignancy.
Awesome.
I tape traded him a Putrid Mass tape and
Putrid
Decrepit. Yeah, Putrid Mass.
Yeah, Putrid Mass is awesome. I know it.
That's how fucking obscure like
yeah, it's good shit.
Like old school, dude. Putrid Mass. And you're in the liner notes for that too.
I know I am. I love those guys.
And he traded me a Skinless Swollen Heaps. So but I'll trade like my friends and stuff. I'm getting you know friends my age in like a kind of like a local scene through Instagram. Kids my age who are like 14 to 20 years old into you know like all the older bands like me. So
yeah, now okay.
Like we have our own little scene or like wave.
Sick. So here's what I want to and this is something you and I have talked about. Why, in your age set, why are there so many people dead set against? Why are so many people your age dead set against listening to classic bands? You know, like Flesh Grind or Mortal Decay or you know even or IB or you know, God, there's so many Time Ghoul. You know, I mean, a million people love some of these new bands that I can't remember the Blood Incantation. It's Time Ghoul. I mean, you know, Time Ghoul wrote that
Right.
shit fucking 20 years ago. So why are people your age not very resistant to older death metal? What's your theory? If you have a theory about it,
The
because
whole
I
idea
see it.
of it is
I see
right.
people your age diss and completely disrespect IB, and I even see some disrespect Suffocation, Mortal Decay, even some disrespect Dying Fetus. Like, so I don't understand. When I was younger, nobody was like that. We weren't like even a lot of guys I grew up with. If their parents listened to the Beatles, we all still listened to the Beatles a little bit, and we wouldn't diss it. We wouldn't be violently hateful about it. So what do you think's going on there?
The whole idea of like Blood Ink and Maggot Stomp and like all like listening to like the newer stuff and then like saying fuck the old stuff, it's all trend hopping. You'll see like when a old school death metal band puts out a new album, it's hot for like a month and then it's easily forgotten. You know,
Agree.
like Outer Heaven fell off, Genocide Pact fell off. No one's talking about Necrot. It's all just whatever band is hot at the moment. But they do it because it's kind of like I guess newer fans are into Blood Incantation and not so much that kind of stuff. Like they come from like hardcore type of backgrounds. Like I know when I saw Sanguis Sugarbog and Embludgement in Philly, there was like a lot of like emo kids wearing Blood Incantation shirts, a lot of emo kids in like Full of Hell. So it's more so like them from like the hardcore type of scene just discovering death metal.
So okay. So I get that. We've had a couple of experiences where we played. I forgot where we played. We played this one show, and all these kids were wearing band shirts of new deathcore bands, right? And like
Right.
I can't remember. It was one of the tours we did, right? And look, I'll be honest. Everybody showed up for fucking one of the deathcore bands that we were on tour with, which is cool. You know, that's why we toured. But after we played, our merch line was a mile long, and people were like, "Oh my god, we never heard anything like this." And it's like, what are you talking about? It's been
Yeah,
here for
right?
30 fucking years. You know,
Yeah.
it's mind blowing. It blows my mind. You know.
It doesn't matter how old or how good your music sounds. If you're at that weird time period where you're just not hot or trendy, no one's gonna listen to you.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like internal bleeding is just not at that level at this time, and I'm trying to get people into it. That's what I'm trying with my meme page, Extreme Metal Memes, the Man Extreme Posting tries to do, and that's what I try to do with my YouTube because no one else is really doing what I'm doing in the old scene, and it's more so like the old school death metal scene revival. But all those bands are kind of like the timeless classics, like, you know, the first Suffocation or like Pierce From Within or like Obituary, where people are still listening to that. But like how many people are listening to like the mid 90s to later 90s stuff? Not very much.
Right. I just want to answer a question because somebody put up a comment that I want to answer. James says, but can't deny some of the newer bands. Absolutely, James. I'm not denying that. What I'm doing is I'm looking at things from a cultural standpoint and trying to understand the culture. There's no knock on the bands. What I'm trying to do is trying to understand Jimmy's age group, not it's not my age group. I'll admit it. I'm old. I don't understand it as well as he does. So I'm trying to give all the viewers an insight into the culture. It really has nothing to do with the bands. It has to do with the culture. That's kind of what I'm trying to talk about, because I'm like I'm a hobby sociologist. So I'm trying to just talk about this stuff. Anyway, I wanted to answer that, Jimmy. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, so how did you get it? The mem creation came first, right?
I started making memes. That was my first progress in starting like a new wave for younger people to get into
So
brutal death metal bands.
tell me about how you decide. Everybody, even us old people, know what a meme is. How did you get into saying, like, you know what, I'm going to make memes, and I'm going to make a page of memes and see what happens, and you've seen good growth on your meme page.
Oh, for sure.
Right,
Very
right.
good
So
growth.
how did that all happen?
It all happened. So before me, there was another page on Facebook called "I Make Memes While Listening to Mortician."
Yeah. I love that.
The Mortician meme page blew up and allowed Mortician to become relevant. And they haven't, they went from playing 8 people to a show to headlining Maryland Death Fest, and they haven't written an album since 2004. So that's the kind of power that these meme pages have through the youth and through metal. It's, believe it or not, it's a serious way of promotion.
Right.
You know
No,
what I mean?
I agree,
And
but
I love the page, and I got a kick out of it every day. So I was like, and I met the people who ran
I
that
love the
page.
page. I love the page too. I subscribe. I follow the page. I love the memes. They're hilarious.
I ran into the people who run that page at Maryland Death Fest when Mortician headlined in Maryland, and they were like, we're gonna retire, we're not gonna do anymore. So I was like, oh well, then I'll start my own page and just post general brutal death metal and death grind and get people into that. And within a year, I managed to become bigger than the Mortician meme page by like 7,000 followers, which is absolutely crazy. We're starting trend hopping bands. I'm getting people into all kinds of crazy bands like Burial, Regurgitation, Flesh Grind, Deaden, Infected Flesh, Corpse Vomit, crazy stuff. And all these kids are, 14, anywhere from like 30, who have never heard those kind of bands, checking them out.
That's awesome,
So
dude.
it's kind of like yeah, for sure.
You're doing God's work.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, for real. Like, I can't even tell you how many people message me a day saying, like, they found out about Mortal Decay through me, found out about, all kinds of like crazy bands, Malicious Hate, Disordered, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Do you know Raped Ape?
I don't know Raped Ape.
You gotta check out Raped Ape. They were kind of, I would say, like Demolition Hammerish, kind of like thrash death.
Gotcha.
Great band. Check them out. They had some good stuff that came out. I mean, I'm sure you know. Do you listen to Dr. Shrinker or anything like that, like old school?
Yeah, I know Dr. Shrinker.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man.
Like Judica.
Yeah, Judeca's. Okay,
Judeca.
I designed Judeca's.
Yep, yeah, the Beyond the Eyes.
Beyond what the eyes can see. I did that. Yep. I did that CD. I did the design on that. I did a lot of Wild Rags designs.
Yep.
I did the Flesh Grind album. I did the design for the Flesh Grind album. Sanctuary. I did.
Yeah, Century.
I did so many bands back then. I did so much design work. I wish I can still do it, but with my business and everything like that, it's really hard. I got a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people asking me. Anyway, I want to keep this on you. Okay, so why the old school brutal death metal? What is it about the old school brutal death metal that resonates with you?
Just all the bands were just way more distinct. The sound was way more raw. Bands had their own sound. You could easily differentiate, you're like, oh, that sounds like Lividity. That sounds like Pyrexia. That sounds like Internal Bleeding. Nowadays, a band on Slam Worldwide puts something out. You're like, that was cool. That was fun. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember any riffs, nothing memorable. You know, it just gets launched within every other 1,000 other bands on there. You know, all the other old school death metal revival bands just making, you know, grave riffs, crip riffs, you know, slowed down tune stuff. Nothing gets memorized. That's why all the old school death metal bands that come out nowadays are forgotten within a month.
I mean, like who cannot forget the chorus of "Holy Pedophile"? You know,
right? Yeah,
I remember it. I remember it now. You know, I mean, I could sing it in my head. It sticks with me almost 30 years later.
Right.
So yeah, I get that.
You take a slam song like "Annoyed in Servitude." It sounds different than "Humanicide," but it's still slam, and it still sounds like Internal Bleeding. Nowadays, all the bands are just ding 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 ding, and then slam 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 ding 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 ding. You know, there's nothing creative or anything that can really differentiate bands.
That's interesting.
It's all just blast chug blast chug.
Right. I don't disagree. I generally don't disagree with you. I think it's really cool that you're doing it. So now you branched out into so let everybody know the name of your page on Facebook.
So the Facebook page is Extreme Metal Memes Demand Extreme Posting. You'll see like Vanilla Ice pop up in a Brutal Truth shirt, where the name comes from, of course, the Brutal Truth grindcore album. Extreme conditions demand extreme responses.
Oh, hey, we got some questions for you, Jimmy. Okay? Ken asks, do you feel Slam Worldwide is going more deathcore and taking away from old school death metal?
Oh, for sure. 100%. 100%, for sure. I think that a really good label is New Standard Elite.
Hell fucking yeah.
Now. I think that New Standard Elite is doing it right. I think that the bands on there are really fucking good. If you're going to check out a label, I definitely recommend New Standard Elite.
Great. Yeah, I just wanted to, if anybody's got a question for Jimmy, like the one that just popped up, please feel free to ask. Why don't you plug your Facebook page one more time for me?
So the Facebook page is Extreme Metal Memes Demand Extreme Posting.
Okay, after you get off, I'd like you to go into the chat and post a link.
All right.
So that
let me see if I can try that right now.
Yeah, post it in the link because I'm sure a lot of the guys and gals watching would like to subscribe to the page. So I think it would be great. Matthew Deflem already posted it for you, dude.
There you go.
See?
There you go.
See, us old people know what we're doing. We know how to copy and paste. All right, so moving on past Facebook now, you've gotten into YouTube.
Yes.
That's your new thing, right? So I watched a couple of your best death metal titties video was awesome.
Thank you.
So
I forgot Anal Blast. It completely swept me under the rug. I forgot Anal Blast.
Yeah, man.
But no worries. It's fine.
So how's the YouTube channel going? I watch every video, of course.
Really, very good actually. Every one of my videos are getting thousands of views. I've already surpassed the 1,000 subscribers within 2 months.
Good.
I have so many ideas that I just don't have like time or like don't know where to start. It's like anxiety inducing because I'm like, I want to do a grind video, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it's just like, where do I begin? Like my creative process is just out the roof because I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I just finally stuck to it and did it.
Right. That's awesome, dude.
I wanted to I wanted to stay away. I wanted to stick kind of clear from the meme side now that I have a huge following and do more of like the serious talk side.
Right. I did like your countdown of the best brutal death metal albums. That was great. Not just because you put our band in there. I think I think one of the things that I respect about you is that you offer criticism to some bands that isn't mean or malicious. It's constructive.
Yeah.
Where you would say it falls a little flat once you start listening this long. It's not a dig. It's not trying to be snarky. It's like an intellectual fan's perspective of what could have made this better. This is, I respect that a lot because listen, IB's had 1,000,000 reviews, and I can count on like 3 or 4 fingers which reviews that were negative that I thought were good negative reviews that actually had constructive criticism to them, which I appreciate that, and I
yeah, for
think you
sure.
do that, which I think is fair,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh, here's a question from Drew Roberts. What shirt are you wearing? I know what it is.
Scattered remnants, brother. Scattered remnants.
There you go. Scattered remnants.
Probably the most flawless brutal death metal band, discography wise.
Now, speaking of Scattered Remnants, he's hard to get in touch with, but you ever talk to Jason Hendershaw?
I talked to Jay once. He reached out to me on YouTube when I made the demo video, and I made Procreating Mass Carnage #2 on the best brutal death metal demos of all times. He reached out and was like, you have high integrity. Thank you, brother. And then I'm friends with Ron through Facebook.
Yeah, Ron's the man, dude.
Him. Yeah, Ron's a great.
Ron's a great guy. He usually watches this show. I don't see him on here today.
Yeah,
but he usually watches.
He has a FaceTime at 8 with his other band, Faces of Babylon, something like that. But you could find it at 8. If anyone wants to watch that, shout out to that with Ron and Scattered.
Oh, somebody just said Ron was on here earlier, which is cool because Ron is always watching. What was the Hendershaw is one of the funniest dudes ever. If you get to know him, I was good friends with him for a long time, and he is so fucking funny. It's like hilarious.
Yeah, I hear. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Ron.
Yeah, Ron, what's up, dude?
I hear mixed reviews from Jay, but from what I heard, he's a good guy.
I hear mixed reviews.
I heard he had his moments.
I heard that too, but Jay has always been. I used to communicate with Jay all the time. I used to talk on the phone with him all the time, and he would have me in fucking stitches. And it's because he's a sarcastic motherfucker, And
I'm cocky. You know what it's like because you're Greek. The cockiness. I'm pretty cocky. I admit it. Like,
I'm not that cocky. I'm a little more humble than you, but yeah, I could be cocky. But Jay was just so fucking flat out funny, man. All those guys, we played a lot of shows with Scattered Remnants. It was always a good time.
Yeah, I always admire Jay's vocals and Scattered. Some of the higher pitch, along with Reinfection that I've heard in the brutal death metal scene.
Yeah, man. So the YouTube's going well. What is your goal? What is your goal for YouTube? Is it the same with the meme page to try to get people into old school death metal?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's any other YouTubers really doing the kind of talks that I'm doing with brutal death metal and old school grind. There's one named Julian Gonzalez, but he's kind of in the circle I'm into of friends where I was talking about, like, where we show each other all these cool bands.
Right.
He's younger than me. He's like 17, 18, 19 or whatever. But so the whole idea is just to get people of any age group, not just younger, into the older bands, like the Mortal Decays, the Scattered Remnants, the Internal Bleedings, because honestly, I'd rather see newer bands in that style than 1,000 not new standard, but Slam Worldwide or Maggot Stop bands that are forgettable. I'd rather hear Mortal Decay.
I love Vomit Forth, dude. They're a Maggot Stop. Vomit Forth is so fucking good.
I'm saying like the
They are 90s death metal.
Vomit Forth. I'm not a big fan of listening to the record, but I've seen Vomit Forth live twice, and they completely blew me away.
They're a great band.
The drummer, I think Nick, the drummer, Nick. Is that his name, Nick?
Yeah, I think it's Nick. Yeah,
he's really fucking intense, along with the singer and 2 guitarists. Vomit Forth is a really good band. They're good. There's a lot of good brutal death metal bands out today, like Embludgment's really good. Limb Splitter.
Oh fuck yeah, Limb Splitter's awesome, dude.
Unborn Salivate's good. Possessed Entity's good. There's all kinds of great stuff.
Oh, you got a big compliment here. Okay, I'm gonna ask. Are you? So what is your state? Matthew asks, is Jimmy a student? Do you have a job? You're very smart. What are you doing for life?
So but before COVID, I was driving for UPS for a little, so I had that, and then now I'm doing heating, ventilation, and air conditioning to keep me
HVAC.
busy. Yeah, HVAC. Well, usually when I say HVAC, people are like, "Ooh, what's that?" So I say heating, ventilation, air conditioning. I do that, and then uh, when I was going to school for HVAC, I was working with the Parks and Recreation here in Philadelphia.
Well, Parks and Recreation. You gotta
So
love that.
yeah,
Uh,
but I was in my high school. I was my top student. I was a student ambassador. I was the smartest of my class. I went to a trade school. I learned carpentry. So I just always been working.
Good man. A couple of more questions. I got Steve Worley calling in a couple of minutes, so I want to ask you. How do you approach a band? How do you approach? Somebody asked, how do you approach a band that you like, and you want to like open up a dialogue with a band like, I don't know, say like with me, or say with like how did you open up a dialogue with Mortal Decay? You know, like how do you approach a band that you want to talk to, or something like that?
Um, uh, Usually they're on Facebook that you can add in direct message, be like, hey, really big fan of the band. What I like to do is post the physical albums that I got from them and be like, really good album, and tag them or whatever, or just kind of talk along like, hey, like what's the idea behind this song, or like I'm a really big fan of this song. Like I reached out to John Paline from Mortal Decay, and I was like, I've been digging chopcore a lot lately,
Yeah,
like this
fuck
song
yeah,
in
dude. Chopcore is
particular.
awesome.
This song in particular, I've really been, and he was like, oh, dude, like my day's been made, like thank you, like all that. So it's just creating a good relationship with people that you like in bands through Facebook, and connecting, and just sharing interest in the scene.
Right. I got you. That's awesome, dude. So, why don't you give me your YouTube channel address so people can?
Right. So my YouTube is Jimmy from the Block. Let me pull that up. Let's see if this does it. I don't know if that. I think I posted. Yeah, I posted the link in the chat. Funny enough, it's actually, my name doesn't come from Jenny from the Block. It's actually it comes from New Kids on the Block.
Nice.
Surprisingly, the boy band. But that's a common misconception of Jenny from the Block.
So, how do you go about? Do you like sit in your bed and like look at the ceiling and say, "Oh, here's an idea for a YouTube video"? Like, how do you come up with your ideas for a YouTube video?
Pretty much just looking at my collection and being like, what can I create collectively from all these albums? What does all this have in common?
Right.
Like I was looking at all my grindcore albums, and I was like, like we have, a lot of death grind stuff like Mastic Scum, Disordered, Malicious Hate, and then I have like a lot of the traditional grindcore, like maybe I can do like a video separating between the two. Like I have like the boobs on death metal, like listening to like Viral Load and Mortal Decay and Malignancy, and just like looking at all three and be like, wait a second, all these albums have, boobs on them, let's try to, do it, what else has them? Or like
Now you didn't get any.
stuff of that general
You
idea.
didn't get any. You didn't get. Did you get any complaints from woke feminists about highlighting boobs and misogyny and all kinds of stuff?
That went viral. The
Did it?
that post went viral. Yeah, it went viral on Facebook for the following 2 days, and everyone was roasting me, be like the biggest version or whatever, and it's like the picture of like me being like with like the caption like top 10 boobs or whatever. But I mean, it blew the video up to 5,000 views. It's one of my biggest videos on my channel. So I mean, thanks for that, I guess, everyone. But
Right.
I remember when I first made a YouTube video, they weren't giving me crap for the boobs, but they were giving me crap for the lividity poster.
Yeah, because what Dave posted that
What Dave's dumbass posted on the page.
he should know
I
that
was I was the one who made the band apologize because
Oh yeah,
I'm good friends with Vaughn,
Vaughn, right?
the singer. I messaged him. I was like, you got to send out an apology before
All right,
the cancel culture, because
I
cancel culture is the worst on
this is what I was
Facebook.
going to ask you. I don't want to get it. I don't want to get into politics that much. But the cancel culture really disturbs me a lot. I can't explain. I'm not going to go into my political point of view as far as
Right.
what I believe. But the First Amendment is the First Amendment is the First Amendment. Why are you young? And I hate to say this, but why are you young people so obsessed with canceling people and not? It's like you're sitting there with your fingers in your ears. La 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 la. I don't want to hear anything that bothers my little perfect world. What's with that? Why are people like that? I cannot wrap my head around it. I try not to disrespect it in public. I have my own personal views about it, but it's disturbing to me.
And it baffles me too, Chris. And it is in my age demographic, and it's crazy too. I'll answer the question, but as a side note, it's crazy too because there's people in the death metal scene canceling other death metal acts for being misogynist. There's people who will listen to Cannibal Corpse and then be like, oh, Lividity needs to be canceled.
Right.
Or it's the same exact.
It's like, haven't you heard meat hook sodomy? I mean, it's like
people listening to Sanguis Sugabog and then giving the other band Limb Splitter crap for having the Naked Chainsaw Girl on it, or all kinds of it baffles me, especially in the death metal scene where the whole point of death metal was to zombies and gore and killing people. The entire point of death metal was destruction.
Yeah. I don't get it, dude. I just don't like.
Death metal kind of became like the grind scene.
Yeah.
It kind of came like very leftist with the grindcore scene. But to answer your question of why cancel culture is such a big thing with my age demographic, is because everyone's at that age now where everyone I feel like as if the world isn't as conservative as it was. So everyone matured and everyone is kind of doing their own thing. Those people are kind of more in power since they grew up, and everyone kind of wants to, live life their own way. And if they see something that they don't like, they kind of, try to cancel it, and canceling them gives them power.
I gotcha.
It's kind of like another form of fascism, but in the form of anti-fascism.
No, it's fascism.
They're trying to.
It's not. You know what? You can't get into
something in the 50s. Yeah.
I don't want to get into the discussion about fascism. It's totalitarianism, is what it is.
Right. To me, it's kind of like fascism, but in the form of anti-fascism, because they're if you're not, if you're not left, or not even being left, it's if you don't agree with me, you're the problem. Instead of hey, I don't agree with you, but that's okay. You live your life like you do. I live my life like I do.
Or why not have? I never understood. Why not have a? Are you so afraid that I think most of the world, my opinion, I think most of the world and the people in the world, in America and in Europe, are very tolerant people, and they know when some black metal band comes out with Nazi bullshit or whatever,
Right.
just ignore it. Don't pay attention to it. Don't give it, or go back, and be somewhat intellectual about it and fight it on an intellectual level, and a conversational level and open up a discussion about it, so everybody's educated instead of just, these people who have aberrant views. They should be not canceled. You should engage with them so everybody can see how stupid they are.
Right. It just
That's
kind of
what
like
free
call
speech is
the
all about.
you'd be calling like, well, how would you go about that? Like, are you against like Nazi black metal? Say, would you be against Nazi black metal and then like Antifa canceling like the Nazi black metal shows?
Me?
Yeah.
This is an interesting thing. I think the Antifa people should go out and protest the Nazi black metal shows. I don't like
Right.
Antifa, but I think they have the right to do that.
Yeah, so they have the right to protest
Right.
it, but do you
It's
think
the
they should have like the
promoter.
right
It's
to
the promoter who.
cancel
It's the
the
promoter who
promoter?
folds. That's the problem. I don't have a. If a band has like extreme right wing views or left wing views, I don't care. If I
Right.
don't support a band, I won't go see them. It's as simple
Right.
like, I don't know. That's how free speech works. I just don't. I don't get it. I guess I'm too old.
Right.
I don't
I
understand
just
it.
because I just like extreme music lyrically. Like I'll listen to like more of like the right leaning bands like Agnostic Front or like Carnivore, and then I'll go and listen to like the left leaning bands like Bad Religion or Napalm Death, and I have no problem with
Right.
either or. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. Like
Because I'm just a fan of extreme music.
me too. Me too. Like I disagree with 99% of everything Napalm Death sings about.
Yeah, same.
And but I love them, and I love the Dead
Right.
Kennedy. I love the Dead Kennedys, and I think Jello Biafra is an economic imbecile. He doesn't
Right,
understand
correct.
economics, but I love the band, and I love the music, and I love what they're trying to say. Like I can embrace it all and still disagree with it.
Exactly.
I don't
And
get it.
people don't think like us, especially at my age. They'll be like,
Okay.
"Oh, like you can't like that's crazy. Like you can't say that. Like, like oh, you support the right to bear arms. Like you're a Nazi."
I don't get
Like,
it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do know what you mean. And one of the reasons that I got into heavy metal and death metal was I felt like when I was a kid, when I was 16, 17 years old, I felt like an outcast. I felt like I didn't belong anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
I had my own views. I had this and that. And it started with hardcore. I was accepted for who I was. I was
Sure.
when I was 17 or 16, I had longer hair, but I still loved hardcore, and nobody fucking gave me shit. And
Yeah.
and nobody cared what I thought about anything. All they cared was I was a good person. I loved my friends, and I loved hanging out with my friends, and I loved the music, and that was all that mattered. And now it's like, oh, it's crazy, man. I just don't get it.
I mean, politics are kind of like wrestling nowadays. Like I remember before, like.
But I like wrestling, but I would like to see it on an intellectual.
I love wrestling.
Would like to see it on
kind of like.
I would like to see it on an intellectual level and not a crass. And it's not just the left; it's the right. The right does it too.
No, I agree. Because I remember back in the day, no one really cared about politics to this degree, and either so, it was kind of like I like the view set of politics was like I like what the Republicans are doing, but I also like what the Democrat president has to say.
Right.
And then it was like I like the Republican president's view on this, but like the Democrats want to do that, and it's like like which one are you voting? Now it's like vote blue no matter who, or like it's like just like a Twitter war and nothing sophisticated.
Right. I agree with you. This has been a great conversation, man. I really appreciate you joining me. We're gonna sign off. Give me your give me your 2 pages, your YouTube and your Facebook one more time.
The Facebook is Extreme Metal Memes Demand Extreme Posting, and then my YouTube is Jimmy from the Block.
All right, man. Jim, brother, I love you, man.
Brother Chris, love you too, man.
When am I gonna get on your YouTube channel so that girl can comment that I'm a washed up? What is it? A washed up baby boomer?
Oh man, yeah, that I know. Man.
I don't listen. I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind it. I've heard it. I've heard somebody at a show saying, "Oh, fucking, Eternal Bleeding's a boomer band." I've heard it in the background. I don't care because
Oh yeah,
the
Eternal
bands that
Bleeding is like a
dude
real.
liked, we
Yeah,
crushed.
you're a big bootlicker band, just so you know, in
What's
the
a
scene.
what's a bootlicker band?
Oh, I
Fascist?
support the cops, like, yeah, like, oh, our cops are bad, like,
Oh,
you're
really?
one of the, yeah, like the bootlicker, like, oh, they support the pigs, like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Wait till one of those gets raped, and what are they going to do? I have listen. I have many cop friends, and I try not to take sides. I really try to stay neutral, but I
No,
do have a point of view.
I was a heavy supporter for Lividity when all that stuff was going on. I was a huge supporter. Shout out to Vaughn. I think a member of Pyrexia's dad or someone was in the service.
My dad, my
Just
dad,
anyone.
my
I
dad,
know.
my dad was in the Korean War. You know,
I know. Roger from Mortician's father. Just any of the brutal death metal bands who served or anyone with cop members. I was a huge supporter in the scene when all that stuff was going down for the riots and all.
I've got a, it's difficult for me because at one point I had a bass player in my band who was a cop. I had a bass player in my band who was a Marine. And I see their point of view, and I'm torn. Listen, I understand a lot. I understand all sides. I fall on one side. I'm not going to say what side, but I fall on one
Right.
side. But I do understand. I do. I try to.
Right.
I try to be open minded about these things.
Right, like you said, I'm open to discussion. Like, show me, like, prove me to a point where I can say, like, okay, like, I can see how this is corrupt.
Yeah, right. And nobody can deny nobody can the police are not an angelic group. There's bad people in the police
Right.
department.
I mean, even so, I think that a
There's
lot of
bad
the
people
judicial
everywhere.
system. Yeah, I think there's bad doctors. I think there's the bad judicial system. There's bad people everywhere.
Right. You and me think alike. You know what? I'd swear you're 52 years old.
It's those Greek brutal death metal
It,
boys.
it must be, man. Listen, Jimmy, it was
Must
great
be.
talking to you. We really appreciate you having on. Thanks for having us. Coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. You
A
know where to
lot of
find
guys,
me.
a lot of guys are going to subscribe to your channel. A lot of gals are going to subscribe to your channel.
I appreciate that, brothers and sisters.
And last question: the
All right.
YouTuber guy Gonolik. I love him. I think
Yes.
he's hilarious, and he's got
Right.
his facts pretty straight. What do you think of him?
I just had a chat with him yesterday.
Can you please tell him from Internal Bleeding, thank you, because he got it right when he did the history of brutal death metal. When he mentioned Internal Bleeding in that section, he got it absolutely correct. And he's the first person on YouTube to ever get it correct. So please, I've never talked to him. I'd like to get him on the show, but please give him my thanks.
Yeah, I'll message him and I'll tell him that. But to answer your question, I love Gonolock, and he is very knowledgeable.
And he's funny.
Hey, he does it in a comedic way. I want to do a history of brutal death metal myself and make it more serious. Talk about the East Coast bands like Torture Crypt and Ossuary and Internal Bleeding. Yeah, Ossuary, man, Ossuary's fucking amazing. I have the tape still.
Ossuary.
Man, fat
So
fucking rules, man.
Little trivia question or answer. Ossuary is the first band to ever get Internal Bleeding to play out of state.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I love Gonolock. I love that, and his grind videos, like, okay, because some of the grindcore bands he calls death grind are more like just grindcore. I'm gonna make a video about that too, separating the two. But overall, Gunlock's a great guy. He's funny as fuck, and his voice is super low pitch.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like he could go into like TV or radio or something. His voice is just so charming.
Yeah, he's got like a James Earl Jones thing going on.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, Jimmy. Thanks a lot, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
I hope that I get to go on your YouTube channel and act like an old man.
You're welcome whenever, man. You're welcome whenever.
Well, so get an interview together and let's do it. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
From what I can see from the comments, the fans really are enjoying it, and I hope you got a lot of subscribers.
Oh, for sure. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love you, brother. Yasu.
Love you too, Chris. Stay brutal.
Yeah, fuck yeah, always, brother. Take it easy, man.
Bro, take care.
All right. All right, man. So there was Jimmy, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're gonna. Steve Worley was supposed to call in, but I guess he's having some connectivity problems. So it's 6:18 now. I'll go to 6:30. If you guys have any questions you want to ask, I'm here for you guys. So, anyway, that's what I have to. That's what I have to say. Well, man, you guys have a lot of comments for Jimmy. I love it. When are we having a cookout with the Brutal Death Metal Boys? Actually, we're having a cookout in January. Around New Year's, around Christmas, we're having a IB little party. We'll go live and show you guys what's going on, but we're having a little IB party. Joe, thanks a lot, brother. Jimmy's the man, and Steve Worley's calling in. Steve, what's up, brother?
What's up?
How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. I'm trying to get over to the fucking Skype thing, but it's not working. I don't know if you guys can hear. Oh, come on. It's not working, dude. Oh, wait. There's Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well. I am driving through the country down here on a back road, so.
Oh, okay. So, how was work?
Work is work, man. Just same shit, different day.
Same shit, different day. So here's a question.
Yes, sir.
We've been working on a Onward to Mecca song. How are your lyrics coming? How are your vocals coming for that?
Lead by example. Definitely kind of more of my natural vocal range. Referring to my days with Sacrificial Slaughter, I kind of did more of the mid-range kind of thrash, growl mix-up. So I think anything off Onward to Mecca is going to be really natural for me and sound brutal.
Oh, cool, man. I miss you, dude. I can't wait to see you. I haven't announced the big announcement yet, but I can't wait to see you around Christmas time.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna blow up the airbed. You'll have a nice place to sleep. We'll have all the IB boys together again. I can't wait for it. I miss you terribly, dude. You and I have to go to the supermarket. You and I have to go to the supermarket and grab a whole bunch of meat and cook up some good shit.
We definitely will, but I'm not wearing a mask.
No, we're not wearing no fucking masks. Don't worry about it, dude. You know?
New York's a different fucking world over there.
I know, dude. We have no freedom here. We have no freedom here in New York. That's just the way it is. You guys can shoot guns and do all kinds of stuff down there.
Yeah, it's pretty free down here in the South. But New York is where the magic happens, so I'll be there, man.
All right, man. Thanks. I appreciate you checking in, brother. Get home safe.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Say hi to the dog for me.
She's right here.
There she is. All right. Awesome, man. I can't wait to see you, man. I miss you, Steve. I miss you a lot, dude.
So that was the only question, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to wrap it up because I want to kind of eat dinner and stuff.
Yeah, it's past your bedtime.
Yeah, but pretty much. People are saying you got no sound, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, probably right.
All right, man. Love you, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Have a good night.
Talk to you later.
All right, bro. All right, so Steve Worley checking in, and we're gonna finish up. We're gonna finish up now. Let's see, 6:23. We got 7 minutes. Do you guys have any questions for the last 7 minutes of the show? And we'll call it a night. We had Steve check in. We had Jimmy Forrester check in. We had a good show tonight. We appreciate you all joining us. Anybody else got any questions? It would be great. Let's see. We got Carl. Yeah, I do like some outlaw country. How can you not? And I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. The David Vincent shit's pretty good, man. It's not bad. So, here's a good question. As a band, do you get the hype feeling of seeing a band live? You know what? It's hard for me to answer that question. The last band that I was completely like head over heels blown away by was Severed Savior. And I don't remember what year that was, but I saw them live and I was like, Jesus Christ, these guys are fucking good. So that's like the last band that completely blew my mind. But being that I have tinnitus and I have terrible ringing in my ears, a lot of times at shows I have to stay outside until we play, or else the ringing in my ears becomes so out of control that I can't even concentrate on our own music. So I hate that. I hate that I have to say that, but it's true. You know, tinnitus sucks. Let's see what one place you want to tour that you haven't. Australia? Yes, dude. I want to go to Australia so bad. There's a lot of great history in Australia. Being that I'm a history buff and I understand the tie that America has with Australia, especially during World War II and the Vietnam War, like that's like important stuff to me. And the people, all the people I'm in contact with in Australia are awesome. So I would like to. I don't want to quit the band until I go to Australia. So how's that for answer? Jimmy's checking in. And Mortal Decay is my favorite band. Chris is the grown-up me. Yeah, well, I've been pushing Mortal Decay for like 30 years, man. I fucking love those guys. Always have. What's up with the tick disease? All right, Harold, here's the thing. I went through a 1-month course of treatment that was an antibiotic and quinine, and it seemed to have worked. But today has been a really bad day. It feels like there's 5 guys behind me with a flamethrower throwing fire on my back. My back hurts so much. I have so many muscle spasms going on right now. So I don't think I've killed it. I'm afraid that I'm going to be living with this for the rest of my life, which I'm not happy about. We'll see. I'm going to go for another blood test and see if I still have the babiosis, it's called, and we'll see if I still have it. But man, it sucks, dude. It feels like I've been good for a week or two, feeling great, you know, like awake and with it. But today it feels like I said, a bunch of people with flamethrowers on my back. I'm in so much pain and I'm exhausted. I am just so tired. I can barely stay awake. So, you know what? It's kind of sad that the only thing that makes me feel better is drinking some bourbon. And still my back hurts. I hope it doesn't ruin my music career. It's affecting me in my joints. It's affecting me everywhere. But we'll see what happens, you know. I'm trying to be positive about. So that's your answer to the tick-borne disease question. I'm not very happy about it. So, let's see. We got more questions. All right, here's a good question. Why is the reissue of albums so hard? Dude, it's hard because Pavement Music is being cagey about giving us back the rights to our stuff. One minute they're like, yeah, let's do it. And the next minute they're like, no. So it's constant back and forth. We're working on it. Hopefully we'll get it done. I want to release those old albums on vinyl especially because I'd like to have the vinyl copies of the albums. And I think a lot of people need to hear them, but we'll see what happens. You know, that's the answer to that question. What else we got? We got a lot of questions here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go through them all. We answered the reissue. Matthew says, very good sesh today. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. I hope you like my bourbon collection here. I spent a lot of money on this bourbon. God, I love bourbon. I don't know why. But, okay, so I think, let's see. Here's a question. I have a question. The name of Internal Bleeding Onwards to Mecca, was it supposed to be something else like Hate Fuel? Yes, it was actually going to be called Hate Fuel, but I can't remember the band. Some other bands came out with an album called Hate Fuel, and then 9/11 happened, and we changed the name of the album. So there's your answer to your question, man. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. All right, so I guess we're going to wrap it up. I answered every question available. I think there's a lot more, but I can go on for hours. I miss my boy Chris McCarthy. I wish he was here with me because him and I bounce back and forth really good together, but he's at a wedding, and we all love him, so maybe in the comments say hi to Chris McCarthy. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys. Oh, God. Here we go. Jimmy's being a pain in the ass. Will we ever get to listen to the original Voracious mix? I'm going to talk to Frank Rini about it because I'm getting to the point where I'm getting fed up and with Pavement, and maybe we will release the original mix. Frank is the only one who has a copy of the cassette of the original mix, which I think is awesome. It's exactly how we should have sounded. We sounded like a street band, but we'll see what happens, man, you know? All right, here's a good question, and I have an answer for it. Pablo asks, here's a funny question. Worst road trip shit experience, meaning actual shit I've had to hold my shit in for 4 days. Okay, Pablo, I'm going to give you. I don't remember what year it was, but it was one of the Milwaukee Metal Fests. And we were driving out from New York to Milwaukee, and I had to shit, like really bad. And we stopped at an Amoco station. I remember it was an Amoco station. And I stopped at the booth. I got the key. I ran into the bathroom. Hauled ass to the bathroom. I sat down, and there was a big splash when I sat down. And I looked down. In the toilet was just piles of shit in water. And I had sat in the piles of shit with water. And I was like, well, fuck it. I sat up, and I air bombed it in the toilet, and water splashed up all over my ass. And I had shit nuggets on my ass, and it was disgusting. It was fucking gross. I spent a half hour in the bathroom trying to clean myself up. And I cleaned myself up, and I got back in the van, and everybody said I smelled like shit. And we said, fuck it, let's go to Milwaukee. So that's the worst shit story I have. So. Oh, here's a good question. Any possibility of an additional SmokeSesh shirts with, yes. Sarah, we're going to release, we're planning on releasing some more shirts with like a brutalglass.com theme or a bourbon theme soon. We've got a lot of people who have bought merch. Let me give the merch link again. internalbleeding.com/smoke-sesh. You can buy merch there. We'd appreciate the support. But I want to do a bourbon themed one, and I do want to do a bong themed one. So Amanda says, "Oh my God, yeah, it was pretty gross, Amanda. The things you do for metal is like, I didn't give a shit. I mean, I was younger at the time. I don't know. I was younger, so what like my 40s." But yeah, whatever. It is what it is, you know. So anyway, I love you guys. Have a good night. I'm gonna end it all right now. We'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna have some dinner. We'll see you next week, and we're gonna do the big announcement next week. One more time, I'm gonna plug the SmokeSesh merch. Chris needs to pay his rent, so buy some SmokeSesh merch. We love you all. You guys have a great night. Since I'm alone, I get to do this from the heart. I've been doing this for a long time, since like 91, 92. I appreciate every one of you out there who appreciates IB. That stuff keeps me going. Everybody who knows me knows I'm very approachable, so if you want to email me or text me or whatever, go ahead. You know, I respond, but it usually takes me a couple of days because I'm swamped. But I love you all. I really appreciate you all. And everybody in the band really appreciates you all. And we appreciate you keeping the IB name alive, especially, most importantly, especially for Billy, who I love. And it was my best friend. And I miss him every day. And I really appreciate that you guys keep the IB legacy going. Thank you so much. I love you all. Have a great night.